For decades, we've been told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that skipping it slows your metabolism, makes you gain fat, and ruins your energy levels. You've probably heard lines like, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. But what if that advice isn't entirely true anymore? What if breakfast isn't the magic key to losing weight, and in some cases, skipping it might even help? Let's break down what the science really says about breakfast and fat loss, without myths, without hype, just facts. First, let's understand where this idea even came from. The breakfast is essential belief wasn't born out of modern nutrition science. It was heavily influenced by marketing and early health campaigns. In the 20th century, cereal companies like Kellogg's promoted breakfast as a must-have meal, connecting it to energy, focus, and even morality. Over time, the message stuck. People began to believe that eating early automatically meant being healthier. But in recent years, studies have challenged that assumption. The truth? There's no universal rule that says everyone must eat breakfast to lose weight. To understand how breakfast affects weight, we first need to talk about energy balance, the relationship between the calories you eat and the calories you burn. Weight loss always comes down to one principle. If you consume fewer calories than your body uses, you'll lose weight. It doesn't matter if those calories come at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. Your body doesn't have a clock that says, if you eat late, I'll store fat. What matters more is your total calorie intake throughout the day, and how your eating pattern supports your lifestyle and hunger control. Now, here's where it gets interesting. For some people, eating breakfast does help with weight management, not because of magic, but because it prevents overeating later in the day. When you start your day with a balanced meal, protein, fiber, and healthy fats, you're less likely to crave junk food mid-morning or binge at lunch. It helps regulate blood sugar levels, keeps energy stable, and can improve focus and productivity. This approach works especially well for people who wake up hungry, exercise early, or have a physically demanding job. But on the flip side, skipping breakfast, what many now call intermittent fasting, can also support fat loss. Research shows that delaying your first meal shortens your eating window, which naturally helps some people reduce their daily calorie intake without feeling deprived. Studies from journals like Obesity and Cell Metabolism found that people who practiced time-restricted eating, like 16-8 fasting, often lost weight, improved insulin sensitivity, and had better fat oxidation, even without changing what they ate, just when they ate. So, for many, skipping breakfast is simply an easier way to control calories. That's why the real question isn't, should you eat breakfast? It's, does eating or skipping breakfast help you control your calories and hunger better? Because metabolism doesn't suddenly slow down if you skip a meal. Your body is incredibly smart, it adapts. When you fast, your insulin levels drop, your stored fat becomes more available for energy, and your body may even increase norepinephrine, a hormone that slightly boosts metabolism. So no, skipping breakfast doesn't shut down your metabolism, it just shifts when your body uses fuel. Let's look at what the research says in numbers. A 2019 meta-analysis published in the BMJ reviewed 13 randomized controlled trials on breakfast and weight management. The result? People who skipped breakfast tended to consume fewer calories throughout the day and did not show any slower metabolism. Another study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found no significant difference in weight loss between those who ate breakfast and those who didn't, as long as total calorie intake was the same. So, eating breakfast doesn't automatically lead to fat loss, consistency and calorie balance do. However, that doesn't mean breakfast has no role. For some individuals, especially those with specific metabolic conditions, breakfast timing can matter. For example, people with type 2 diabetes may benefit from a morning meal to help manage blood sugar levels more evenly throughout the day. Similarly, athletes or early morning exercisers often perform better and recover faster when they refuel after a workout. So the key here is personalization. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. It depends on your goals, habits, and how your body responds. let's also touch on the psychological side. Breakfast can act as a mental reset, a way to start the day intentionally with a healthy choice. For some, it sets the tone for better decisions throughout the day. If your breakfast is balanced, say, eggs with vegetables and whole grains, you're more likely to continue eating well later. But if your morning starts with sugar-loaded cereals, pastries, or coffee full of cream and syrup, you're actually spiking your insulin early and setting yourself up for crashes and cravings later on. In that case, eating breakfast might hurt more than help. This brings us to an important point. What you eat matters far more than when you eat. A high-protein breakfast, something like Greek yogurt with nuts or scrambled eggs with avocado, keeps you full longer and helps preserve muscle mass while losing fat. Meanwhile, a high-carb, low-protein meal like white toast and orange juice may leave you hungry in 2 hours. So, it's not about whether you have breakfast, but whether your first meal, whenever that happens, supports stable energy and satiety. Now, let's address a common fear. If I skip breakfast, I'll overeat later. That can happen, but not always. Studies show that some people naturally compensate by eating slightly more later in the day, but not enough to cancel out the calories they saved by skipping breakfast. Others find that fasting helps them eat more mindfully and reduces unnecessary snacking. Again, it depends on your self-awareness and habits. If skipping breakfast makes you binge later, it's not a good strategy for you. But if it helps you feel more in control, it can be a useful tool. Another layer to this is hormones, particularly insulin, ghrelin, and cortisol. When you wake up, cortisol, the alert hormone, is naturally higher. Eating immediately can sometimes elevate insulin levels before your body fully transitions out of the fasted state. Some experts believe that waiting an hour or two before eating can align better with natural hormone rhythms. On the other hand, if you wake up feeling shaky, irritable, or lightheaded, your body might need food sooner. Listening to your body, not rigid rules, is the smarter approach. It's also important to remember that breakfast culture varies worldwide. Many Asian and European countries have traditionally eaten lighter or later breakfasts, yet obesity rates historically remained lower than in regions where breakfast was heavily promoted. That tells us timing isn't the main driver of health, it's the overall dietary pattern, portion control, and food quality. So, how do you decide what's right for you? Start by observing your own body. Try eating breakfast for a week, a healthy, protein-rich one. Notice your hunger, energy, and focus. Then try delaying your first meal until noon for another week and compare how you feel. Are you more alert, less hungry, or more productive when you skip breakfast? Or do you feel sluggish and distracted? Your answer lies there, not in a headline or a health myth. Sustainable nutrition always comes down to individual response. If you do enjoy breakfast, make it count. Avoid sugary cereals, pastries, and juices that create an energy crash. Focus on foods that provide sustained energy: eggs, oatmeal, Greek yogurt, nuts, fruits, and whole grains. Combine protein, fiber, and healthy fats to keep you full for hours. For example, scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado toast, or oats topped with chia seeds and almonds. These choices don't just support weight control, they also help stabilize mood and mental performance. If you prefer to skip breakfast, that's okay too. Just make sure your first meal is nutrient-dense and balanced, not an excuse to overeat. Drink plenty of water or black coffee in the morning to stay hydrated and maintain focus. The key is to manage your eating window wisely. Avoid late-night binges and focus on nutrient-rich foods throughout the day. Fasting is not starvation, it's structured eating with purpose. In the end, the idea that you must eat breakfast to lose weight is outdated. Your metabolism doesn't care about clock time, it cares about consistency, quality, and energy balance. What truly matters is finding an eating rhythm that fits your lifestyle and helps you stay consistent over months, not days. Whether that includes breakfast or not is entirely up to you. So, do you really need breakfast to lose weight? The honest answer is, no, not necessarily. You need consistency, mindful eating, and an approach you can stick to long term. Some people thrive with breakfast, others do better without it. Both can work, as long as you control your calories, eat whole foods, and respect your body's signals. Forget the myths, forget the rules, listen to your body, and do what truly works for you.